So we want both for there to be new services and a lot of new innovative services, but at the same time, it's the early adopters that are usually the ones who use them, and many of the success stories come from quite a small part of the population. And I think in Nordics we have also a tradition of looking after the entire population, making sure that financial services are there for everyone. And you can't really blame the fintech companies. They're supposed to serve a certain customer segment, and that's absolutely fine, and it's great to have a lot of innovation. But then as a public authority, then we are trying to make sure that the general public also benefits from all the innovation, and that nobody gets left behind.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody else like to jump onto the financial literacy? I might start with you, Lisa. What's your view there?
I agree that Finland is great when it comes to education. I wouldn't say that Sweden is doing as well, and especially being here in Singapore, I know that Singapore is probably world leading when it comes to education. So I'm a little bit more like, I'm not sure if I agree on that statement. And having a child, I'm considering putting him in school here in Singapore instead. If people should go to school, who knows? The future is happening so fast. Anyway, that's a sidetrack. We can take that later. But I wouldn't also necessarily agree that the financial literacy is so high if you compare to like living in, compared to other parts of the world. But what I do think is happening is that the network effect is very big, because it's kind of small communities in Sweden, and especially in Sweden, it's like, and we are all like small countries. Yeah. So when some people start using like mobile payments, they kind of get their aunt to get on there, and then their aunt get their cousin to get on there, and then all of a sudden you have the entire country within a few days, just because it's the network effect of it. So I think those are some of the things that are playing in, and then of course the government and some of the bigger banks are pushing. You file your taxes in Sweden with a text message. That is not a case when you file your taxes in the US. Singapore is actually pretty good in that sense as well. You have your Sync Pass, and then you can like file your things. But yes, I think there is a push from governments and big companies, but the education level is amazing here in Singapore, which I'm a bit impressed about.
Yeah, very true. Thomas?
Yeah, I think what's interesting is that there is actually reports coming out, and I think that's what you were pointed towards also, that especially the younger generation are really they're lacking the basic skills or insights to manage their own financials. So I think maybe a little bit fueled also by PSD2 and the open banking, there will be a second way of like kind of innovation that will speak to this and will try to solve that problem, that will provide new services, new solutions together with the banks that will actually teach this generation to handle their financials, right? So that's one thing, and it's at the same time, I think the Nordics with their reputation, again going back to the kind of whole thing around design thinking and human-centric design, that provides us with a huge opportunity to actually take care of that problem on a global scale. So scaling some of these solutions, and just last week we were in India, and one or two of the companies are actually working in that space, in actually educating people about their finances. So it's also a huge opportunity for the Nordics to work in that space.
Yeah, I mean, it's just made me think of something else. We're also talking about some of the most livable places in the world, right? All of your countries actually always very high up on that list, most livable cities, but expensive. High cost of living, different way, a different style. So I think the literacy piece is important, because people need good finances. They need them to last for a long time.
But I think maybe it is very equal. So there is maybe the top and the elite in some countries are way ahead, but in Sweden no one is falling too far behind.
Yeah. Okay, Irene, did you?